Zambians are at risk of diseases such as cancer of the skin. They are going to suffer from brain damage. The girls are going to suffer from infertility. It's a complex issue. And the Zambian government is doing nothing to these so-called investors. Your people are going to suffer permanent injury, long-term permanent injury. They may not show now. This, I must emphasize, requires Chambishi, Kalulushi, and Kitu residents to come together and, if they can, find a good lawyer and sue that Chinese company. It is not enough that they are going to be fined by Zema or they are going to be fined by WAMA. Why do I say this? Under the WAMA Act, for instance, I know that there's a fine of penalty units amounting to about 40,000 kwacha. But Pastor, with the kind of damage that has gone into the environment, what is that? I know that under the Zema Act, I think they can have penalty units going up to 280,000 kwacha as a fine. Again, when you look at that in terms of what the law provides, it's nothing. Looking at the damage that has gone on and the loss of business that has gone on, you have correctly observed, Copperbelt University is closed. I am now told that some families have run 5 days to a week without water. Who does that? They are taking water bowsers into the community. That's not enough. Number two, let's look at the long-term effect. Yes, they've begun pouring lime into the streams, etc. But if you heard my young brother Matambo, the minister on the Copperbelt, he was saying that yes, lime has been pushed into the rivers and the rivers are flowing, so the acidity levels have reduced and Nkana water is monitoring, etc. But he did mention that Mudyutushimbi, Utushere. Now those are hard metals. Anybody who's done chemistry will know that when you're discussing hard metals, it means you're talking about things that will not dissolve. Now, if those things are going to be in the water permanently, and somehow Nkana water begins to pump out water, and they think they've cleaned the acidity and the pH levels are okay, but the hard metals cannot dissolve with acid or lime, Zambians are at risk of diseases such as cancer of the skin. They are going to suffer from brain damage. The girls are going to suffer from infertility. It's a complex issue. And the Zambian government is doing nothing to these so-called investors. Your people are going to suffer permanent injury, long-term permanent injury. They may not show now those results, but you find a girl who's 15 years old today, 5 years, 10 years down the line, she wants to get married. She starts giving birth to children who are deformed and children who are sick, children who are lame, children who can't think. And it's a problem. The Zambian government must take this seriously, and they're not. And we want to assure the Zambians, on the Copperbelt especially. I grew up on the mines. I'm a boy from Mufulira. I know what happens in the mining towns. The problem we have with this particular government today is they think everything will pass. What's more, yes, you pour lime into the Kafue, into the Mwambeshi, the water starts running. But the Kafue River is one of those meandering rivers which begins from the Copperbelt and runs through Central Province, runs through Lusaka, all the way to Southern Province. So what is it doing as it's meandering and going down? It's bringing all that pollution with it. We may not live on the Copperbelt, but we will suffer even here. So it is not just on the Copperbelt, it's a national issue. It's not a provincial issue. I haven't heard any minister in the UPND government address that issue. What is happening downstream? This is, kukana tontonkanya. This is a problem with this government. They want short-term measures. They want measures which are short-term fixes. You can't run a country like that. You've got to think long-term, man. Now, the Minister of Environment or Green something, Nzovu, is it Nzovu?
Yes.
I forget his name. He has not even given a parliamentary statement. He has not given any comfort to people on the copper belt. Matambo is just talking for the sake of talking. He's a politician. We know him. He's just a cadre. There's no expert who has given comfort to the people on the copper belt and the people downstream that this water is safe. It's not Matambo. Let me tell you, it is not that the water is running and therefore things are, no, that pollution is being carried wherever the water is going, man. What kind of thinking is this? You're a minister and you begin to say, no, as long as the water has flown or run downstream, then everything is okay. Don't mislead the people, Matambo. If you don't know something, keep quiet.
This thing can collapse. It has seen cobalt. It has seen sulfuric acid. The wall, they've seen acid. Yeah. So they can just come down.
Yes.
Oh.
Like a brown line there, all those flowing. So I shut up. Bwana faini na baba basi bafusho niyo mwekushana nini bantu basimata tali bakuchinjana nabone nibona basimata
ushko
nombo fula papita tila